What's up, Cyberspace Cadets? It's IRATE PROSTATE here for another Wednesday edition of the Chaos 120 show. And in the studio with me tonight, I have the lovely TerraSynn.
Meow.
Scooby.
Hey.
And Vetran Mountainman.
Hey, everyone.
All right.
Burnside will be along soon.
Okay. And so anybody got anything they want to talk about before we start the intro show?
Guess who got another stream going Sunday at 5?
You did?
Yes, I am going to be streaming with Scribelight.
Oh, cool.
Congratulations.
And my brother just messaged me on Facebook saying, I want in on that stream. He loves the Lords of the Night. I don't know why, but he loves the Lords of the Night.
Well, good. Well, good, man. This should be a fun experience for both of you.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So, all right.
And if Scooby wants in on it, he can join.
Well, Tara, do you want to go ahead and show anything else?
Let's see. As usual, there's my Etsy store, Tara and Roxy Craft. I have my Patreon and my maker support. Please, somebody become my sugar daddy so I can go, bang Burnside. Let's see. You can find me on almost any social media site. Because it's up to like 7 now or some shit like that. Trying to think if there's anything else. I can't think of anything right now. Oh, Burnside and I, after the stream tonight, we're going to work on my American Bald Eagle video. I actually found a version of the American or the Star Spangled Banner that we rarely hear. Usually we hear like the first 2 verses. We don't hear the rest.
Right. Right. It's a long song too. It's got like what?
Yes, it's like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's got like three full stanzas with the chorus. Right.
So I found that, and Burnside's gonna apply it to my video.
Sweet. That sounds fun. Okay. Let's see, Scooby. You got anything you want to push, sell?
Yeah, sure. You guys know the drill. Who I am, 331. I'm here on YouTube. You can find me on Minds, Gab AI, Patreon and PayPal, and still currently banned on Twitter. The only thing I got...
Hashtag free Scooby again.
The only thing I got right now that I want to shill is this weekend, God willing, if I can get a camera. We have the tractor pull in my neighborhood for the firefighters from all over New York State. They come on these souped up Model A fire trucks and they drag race. It's a 1/4 mile and then a 3-story climb on a ladder to ring a bell as fast as they can. It's some good old-fashioned Long Island redneckery. I'm in it for you guys for this weekend, so hopefully you enjoy it.
Well, that sounds fun, man.
I can't wait to see that, man. That sounds like good, clean family fun.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, my God. I really hate saying it. You guys are going to see my neighborhood. You're going to be like, oh, my God, I didn't know that there were white trash in New York. No, I mean, you're going to see some shit like, people are going to say, my God, it looks like it was filmed in, like, it looks like extras from Deliverance. Like the type of people you go comb bus stations for to like line up, to like give you a bad impression of the South. You could just show up here and like film that and just say it was filmed in some southern place and they'll buy it. I mean, Northerners, these people, they look like every stereotype of Southern trailer trash, and that's part of the reason I want to film this is to show that you get this with Yankees too. It's not just a Southern phenomenon.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't really matter where in the U.S. you are. I mean, there's white trash out here on the West Coast. They're everywhere.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Well, that's my whole point. But if you listen to the media and what they try to sell to you, they basically they try to convince you it's below the Mason-Dixon line, and it's not the coastal states.
Yep.
They convince you it's the people that they blame the Civil War on. Meanwhile, it was all the bankers in my state. But we could go into that another time.
Yeah. Let's not get into that tonight. We got plenty of other stuff to cover.
No doubt. Veteran, you got anything you want to sell out to the people?
Not today, except please don't forget to subscribe to me on my social media. Also, if you have the heart, contribute to my my paid content, because every dollar I get helps me produce better content. And I'm trying to do more live recordings. I'm trying to do more live interviews, but it's hard to do that when I don't have funding.
That's right. Well, that's very good. And I'm IRATE Prostate tomorrow afternoon. That'd be 6 Eastern and 5 Central at 3 Pacific. Big Fat Brian and I, it's on for our hot takes this week. It's True Crime month, and week, True Crime week, and we're going to be focusing on Anders Breivik, Norwegian insane motherfucker that killed a whole lot of people. So it should be an interesting thing. And then Friday night, Cream Stream, we've got Day is Dead as the guest, and we'll also be featuring Jack motherfucking Cochran is going to be part of the panel. So it should be we should be having some fun. And of course Saturday Drinks with Friends. And as I exit with that, we've got news. I believe that Veteran was talking about before we went live.
Oh yeah, and this news. I'm worried about telling y'all this news because I'm afraid it might cause a shitstorm. But we need to discuss this.
Ooh, do tell. What is it?
This was just.
Hi,
released.
I'm Mr. V.
Heyo.
So this was just announced 4 hours ago on Fox News West Coast. 7 men arrested Monday, Memorial Day, for touching underage girls at water park.
Fuck up!
Huh?
Police arrested 7 men Monday for allegedly inappropriately touching underage girls at the Gulfland Sunsplash Water Park in Roseville, California. According to the reports, officers were called to the water park on Memorial Day after the girls went to the park security and claimed that a group of men had touched them. Police interviewed witnesses and arrested 7 men ranging from 18 to 38 on suspicion of committing lewd and lascivious acts on children under the age of 14.
Wow.
Alrighty then.
Right, I'm
Can
done
you
cursing.
say that is just so many that's just fucked up, man.
Yeah.
I can't think of a polite way to put that, so I'm gonna skip that and go, yep. Yeah.
Like I said, this is one of those I was almost afraid to read, but it needed to be put out there.
Sorry for losing my cool. I tried to hit the microphone as fast as I could.
Oh, it's fine, dude. It's perfectly fine, given the situation.
Given the nature of this topic, I can completely understand you being hot under the collar, Scoob. To be fair, just seeing this got me hot under my collar. And it took me about 20 minutes to calm down, because I was about ready to go, ripping people's heads off.
Oh, that'll happen to any good person that reads this and just goes, what in the Protestant hell? Just what in the hell? Why in the hell?
Yep, in California, once again.
Oh, of course, it's Cali-fucking-fornia.
Yep. California.
Where the Bolsheviks do roam. We're so lovely.
It appears that the individuals who were arrested knew each other, worked in a coordinated effort to inappropriately touch several female juveniles. The police department announced in a Facebook post Tuesday afternoon.
Oh
no, go ahead.
Say they did about this out east by me, called Farmingville. The day laborers kept getting wise with the little girls, so a couple of people took it on themselves to beat the fucking bejesus out of these guys in the street like it was free. The left decided they needed to make a movie about it.
Well,
They're not going to learn. They're not going to learn. They should do it the way in my father's time, may he rest in peace. You know what would happen if they caught these animals doing this? They'd cut their fucking hands off. Literally. They'd put their hands on a fucking block, and they'd take a cleaver, and they'd slice them off at the wrist. And that would be the end of it.
Amen.
I was gonna say,
fucking men.
You know what they do? When my grandfather was young, they'd strap them to a wooden hurdle, cover them in tar or honey, feather them up, and run them right out of the city limits and dump them on the ground, naked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's called running them out of town on a rail.
Good old tar and feather.
Yep. None of that's been discussed, but each man is currently in jail on $300,000 bail.
Not expensive enough.
No. Do you know, this is, wait, what part of Cali did this happen in?
It happened in Roseville, California, which is not one of the ritziest areas. It's...
California?
Huh?
Is that Southern California?
It is part of Southern California, but it's not necessarily one of the richer places.
These guys are going to get sent up to Chino.
Yep.
They're inside.
Yep.
They got rules.
That's not going to be pretty.
Oh, yeah. Especially, oh, my God. If La Raza gets their hands on these guys, between the bars, and they'll take turns sodomizing them until something hemorrhages. They'll literally fuck them until they bleed to death.
Ooh, sodomy, you say. Very fitting, Batman.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Got no idea. They did that actually once in Rikers. They got one of these guys, and they did that to him to the point they actually dislocated his hips.
Oh, damn.
It's here. About 300 guys got in line.
Wow.
Yeah, child molestation does not go well inside. That's one of the things. Somebody owed my brother money, and my brother knew the screws, so he gave the screws a call, and they put the guy in the blue suit. Now, if you're in county and they put the blue suit on you, that's for the child molesters. Partied them with the door stops.
Yeah. Ouch. Yeah.
In county.
Yeah. Yeah,
on their way to Chino.
Yep, it's not a rich area, and those poor guys are going to take it hard.
Look at the video a few years ago. Somebody got sent up, and he was a child molester, and you see the guy goes in, and he beats him disfigured. He gets him up against the wall and just keeps beating him and beating him and beating him. Not do good inside. These guys are going to wish that they would have got shot at that park instead of gotten picked up.
Yep. So, on to slightly less uncomfortable news.
Slightly? Oh boy.
Because this one also, I'm going to ask that we show a little respect after we discuss it. Tennessee Sheriff's deputy was shot and killed, and they are still in pursuit of the gunman. This happened just about 6 hours before the stream started.
Can we just really quick give this gentleman a moment of silence before we go on?
I would agree to that.
I second that.
So,
be with his family.
Sergeant Daniel Scott Backer, a Dixit County sheriff, was the one who was shot. The suspect had stolen a vehicle in Kingsport Springs and was running from the police. The suspect is a man named Stephen Wiggins. And I am going to send a link out onto the stream to Fox News. So, you think you could give me a wrench there so that I can post that? IRATE? That way everybody can see what this man looks like. And anybody who's in Tennessee, if you're watching, keep an eye out for this man. He's a cop killer.
You know, if he stoops that low, he'll kill anything.
Yeah.
And anyone.
And
I don't know about that, Burnside. Cop killers are usually cowards.
They are. I've always known them to be loose cannons.
A lot of it depends on where you are.
Yeah.
But this man is definitely dangerous. There is a $7,000 reward leading to direct arrest for this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He is under a blue alert, and they will stop at nothing to find him. Sergeant Baker, who is a Marine Corps Reserve member, leaves behind a wife and daughter, and he had been in service to the county for over 10 years.
Catch this Wiggins guy that they decided to experiment on him in jail.
Oh, they're going to do more than experiment. This dude's going to wind up being the poster child of the next deranged prison hentai. Tentacles included.
Stop talking about Scooby's dinner. I'm walking into Walmart.
Oh, Walmart. Lovely. Well, look out for the NT fillings. They tend to spawn off of the discount rack.
I was going to say,
I gotta go and get dog food.
I was going to say, watch out. Watch out for the crazy leftists that we always see in Walmart. I mean, the last time I was in there, there was a guy.
They're not going to bother me.
assless-
I'm walking in a pink tank top that's stained and plaid red pajama pants. They're going to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah,
Camouflage. Very intelligent.
See, the last time I was in a Walmart, I walked in and I stopped and I turned right around and I walked right back out because as I was walking in, this guy comes walking down the aisle in assless chaps, a G-string,
What?
and purple hair down to the middle of his back with cowboy
Wait,
boots.
what? Okay, I got kicked out of Discord. What?
He was in assless chaps, a G-string, and boots.
Oh
Because-
my.
Because
Oh
Portland
my,
doesn't
oh
have...
my.
And where was this?
That was in Portland.
Yeah, but where was it? Walmart?
Yes, Walmart. That was around 82nd.
Her intensifying? Oh, Lord. God, this is funny.
Now, to be fair, the purple hair probably means he was part of the Pride Brigade, which means you wouldn't have the right equipment for him.
Okay, so when I have pink hair, does that automatically make me part of the Pride Brigade?
No,
But
but
then again,
out here,
I am part of the Pride because I am the B in LGBT.
well, out here, a guy wearing assless chaps and a G-string in Walmart with purple hair, you just
Usually
assume
means sodomite.
You just assume he's part of the Pride community and just move on because he's drawing attention to the fact that he is.
Had to just. Oh boy.
See,
Now-
when I see people like that in Walmart and they're trying to make a statement, I go up to them and say something along the lines of, "How you doing there, sweetheart? You want to come over to my house and polish my car for me? I'll give you $5. Come on, you can get all salty for me." You watch them start sweating.
Ha 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 ha. Oh, nice.
And
See,
if y'all
the
give me till
breathing
I get back
is.
to the house, most likely, probably the next hour of the show, I'll start reading Chaos News. I'm not having a very good internet to pull up Twitter and everything like that. Not even on the app.
Well, something I wanted to ask you guys, have y'all seen some of the announcements out of California about the election that's going on right now?
No, do tell.
Okay, so California has what's known as a top 2 primary, okay? That means in any particular congressional district or state district, they have an open primary. Everybody votes on the same pool of candidates. And the 2 with the most votes goes on to the general election. Well, right now, there are so many Democrats running for each spot that their vote has just splintered into a million pieces.
Oh joy, they overcompensated and now their phallus is broken. Sweet. How fitting.
Well, originally they had done this to kind of lock up districts, because if you've got a small majority of, say, Democrats in a district, and everybody votes on the same candidate pool, what do you end up with? Well, you end up with 2 Democrats running.
Right.
Because as long as you've only got like 2 or 3 Democrat candidates, they're going to end up with the most votes. But when you've got 1 or 2 Republican candidates, and you've got like 12 Democrat candidates, you get the exact opposite.
That's just crazy.
And I've had a lot of people try to tell me that the top 2 primary system should be implemented across the country, and I keep telling them, no, you don't want to do that. This is kind of proof why.
All state sounds insane.
New York has the same? Is that what you said, Scooby?
The whole state sounds insane.
Oh, the whole state sounds insane. Sorry, I heard New York has the same. I was going to be like, when did New York pass that? Was everybody asleep?
Well, considering that's when they passed all the laws, yeah.
Yeah, they do that in Florida too.
No doubt.
Putting it down to an art form of passing laws at 2 in the morning.
Sunday, everyone sleep.
What?
You roboted there.
Has got it down to an art form of passing laws at 2 in the morning. Legislation. All that common sense shit, he did it at 2 a.m. when no one could vote.
Oh, man. That's how he passed all his gun control?
The whole state was up in arms that he did that shit. He did that all at like 2, 3 in the morning. You'd see the gun vote. My mother would wake me up. She's like, "You got to turn on the TV." I turn on the TV, and sure enough, there he is, this fucking bastard at 2 in the morning, passing all these laws.
So,
I think I cut out at some point, but I had said that they do that same thing here. It's like, oh my God, it's gonna be Sunday. Hurry, everybody, pass a law.
yeah. Well, so I've got one more bit of crazy news here for you guys. This one's actually from Salem, Oregon. Salem, Oregon is currently on emergency high alert due to the fact that the drinking water for the city of Salem is toxic due to a toxic algae bloom in their reservoir.
Yet the government won't do shit for Detroit.
There's nothing being done for Salem either. They send out emails and phone messages telling you don't drink the water. And currently, all the stores are empty of bottled water. So if you're in Salem and you're listening to us, please remember, the water is not safe to drink. If you have any kind of compromised immune system, you are under the age of 16, or you're over the age of 55. technically drinking it, if you're outside of those parameters, you're a healthy middle-aged adult. It's safe theoretically, but I'd recommend you just use bottled water.
How does this work? Am I on? Am I live? How
Yes,
is
you
it?
are live,
You are.
man. How are you doing, Irving?
Not too bad, not too bad. What's good,
Yeah,
guys?
you-
Sorry I'm late.
Not a
All good.
problem. You just missed some of the news we were talking about. I was just making a public safety announcement for the city of Salem, Oregon.
Oh, something rapey?
No, toxic algae bloom in the public water. Water is not safe to drink.
Oh, okay. I've heard of this before, but it's not like the air nearby is unbreathable now, right?
No, the air is okay.
Not yet.
But, don't drink the water.
It's kind of like red tide, isn't it?
Kind of like red
Yes.
tide, except it's a blue-green algae instead of a red algae,
Right.
but very similar.
That's what we get.
Now
In,
I have Dave Matthews Band, Don't Drink the Water, stuck in my head.
I want to tell you guys, I appreciate the invite, but you had 15 people moments before I jumped in, and then that number dropped dramatically.
That's because you had 15 monitors on.
Hey, Uzi. Hey, Dad. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so beyond that, have I missed anything crazy?
Well, we were discussing the 7 rape cases in California, and oh yeah, the California election system devolving into a Democrat hate fest.
But it didn't go all the way as, like, was it Greece where they actually, like, oh no, it was Romania, right? That they broke out into fistfights on the parliament floor?
Not yet, not
Okay.
yet. But there's like 12 Democrats running for most districts in California right now.
it would be
And
fun.
California implemented a top 2 primary system.
Top two.
So, yeah, so the 2 candidates running, no matter what party, that get the most votes in the primary, run in the general election. And everybody votes on the same candidate pool.
Huh.
So what had originally happened was the Dems were running 2-3 candidates per region, and because they have about a 60% Democrat majority in most of the districts that are important, you were getting 2 Democrats running against each other. Well, now they've got like 12. So what happens when you split it that much?
Yeah.
Everyone shits on everyone until no one wants to vote Democrat anymore. It actually
Exactly.
sounds like a Republican conspiracy.
Sounds fun.
But the Democrats passed it.
Sounds fun to watch. Almost as fun as roller derby, you know?
Hey, roller derby's better in my opinion.
No shit.
Yeah, maybe it's them short skirts they wear.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the topics we were addressing, man. So feel free to weigh in.
Can I throw something in for Canada on the Canada side?
Sure.
Come on.
Thank you. There are still times that I love Canada, and today's one of them. Part of the reason I was late was I walked the dog and I ran into some neighbors I hadn't seen in a while. Literally standing on the corner with 3 legal immigrants to this country who were all shitting themselves over the illegal immigrant crisis. All right? They were all sick of the liberal leader of the province, and one of them was actually going to vote for the NDP until I told him, guess what? They want to make our province a sanctuary province for all those illegals. And he was like, what? No! And I changed his mind on the spot with what, 8 days to go now before the election? All right, I made a real difference in the world today, and I love Canada. I love the immigrants in Canada. They're fucking fantastic. You know why? Because they're Canadian now. I don't care what accent they're rocking. They're Canadians. Fucking
Dude,
love these people.
I have a couple of people I served with that came from Romania and Nigeria. But they love this country as much as I do, America as much as I do. They're Americans.
they might appreciate it more than most of the millennials who, yeah, like, I mean, someone like you went out and fought for the country. You know the love of country. They love it more than, say, your average university student, I think.
Oh, I'd bet hands down.
Yeah,
I'd put money on that.
We're going to do it, guys. There's still hope for my country, so wish us luck.
Hey, I'm trying to help you guys as much as I can. I keep rebroadcasting your stuff.
For our revolution. What?
Shh. I didn't say nothing about that. I'm rebroadcasting your broadcasts and James Pawson and, Rebel Media and...
Trying to love each other. Love one another.
And of course, should it come down to that, well, I know plenty of sections of unmonitored border, and I know where I can get a sled team of dogs.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll run them across in the middle of winter, and nobody will ever know.
There's a ton of country up here, man.
I know.
So, ow. So, I just got some bad news. I had a hunch. I checked the news. That's why I was quiet for a minute. Earlier this afternoon, what had happened was, I thought it was a little bit odd because the air show had ended, but it turned out it was a World War II fighter, I believe.
Crashed.
I don't want to say. Yep, I heard it roar. It crashed about a mile or so from my house.
Ooh, I didn't realize it was so close, man. I was going to talk to you about that.
Anybody hurt?
Yep, he died. May he rest in peace. Video, the poor bastard, the hydraulics went. It was a complete nosedive. They showed it going. What had happened was the hydraulics, I'm guessing, sheared because his plane went from a couple of thousand feet up. It just went straight to the ground. He was going at such speed before it hit the ground, it broke up.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
It right on the sidewalk in front of somebody's house.
Yeah. The machine couldn't handle the G's of the dive. Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way that the hydraulics sheared, it put it right into a straight dive. It must have sheared with the rudders going, I guess, straight up. I don't know how else it would dive like that. Mm-hmm. They showed it coming down, and the plane was going with such force. When it was coming down, it was actually wobbling because it was going too fast for the wings to actually buffer the wind, and that's what tore the wings off.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I heard about the crash. They were still getting reports in as I heard about it.
What are the planes? They're like almost all engine from that era, from World War II. I mean, the front end is massive. It's the ones. Not a Spitfire.
You mean the flying? You're talking the Mustangs.
Mustang. I mean, it's big. It looks like a friggin' industrial fan with wings on the side.
Oh, you're talking about the P-47, man. That's the P-47 Republic P-47 is made in Farmingdale.
It was the trademark team for Republic Airport. It was the formation team. There was like 5 of them in formation. I don't know if he was the captain of the team or if he was like the wingman, but they were flying in formation. All of a sudden, he broke formation and shot straight to the ground.
Damn.
He's saying it's because those are old planes, and it's probably just they didn't service it enough after the. That's the thing. I guess they had just done the service, and they were doing like the usual test run to make sure everything was good before they stored them up again till next year, and this happened.
When was this?
This morning. This
wow.
afternoon, actually. All of a sudden, I heard this roar, and I'm saying to myself, "Wow," because I'm by the airport. I said, "He's coming in hot."
Yeah.
It must have been that was what the noise was. It must have been him shooting down and slamming into the ground, and I heard it because of the proximity.
Hey, IRATE.
Yeah.
I did post an image of the woman that Roseanne Barg. Roseanne got into the Twitter insult match with inside the host. The broadcasters only chat. If you want to see what she looks like.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, see, for the longest time I heard about this, but I didn't hear what the actual tweet was till my lovely Canadian friends on the corner told me that it's something to the effect of that person looks like a hijabi wearing Muslim crossed with an ape.
With
what was it? Planet of the Apes and Muslims had a child.
Yeah.
See, there's nothing in there that's inherently racist.
Well, if you take.
Yeah, the ape thing is like borderline, like big time racist.
I mean,
in America, I would say
it does have a history of association, but I mean, dude, we're 99.6% chimpanzee or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're our closest primate relative.
We are.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable to compare most people to apes.
But yeah, if you want to see where she was going with that, because there she is.
That's Valerie Jarrett.
Yeah,
and there's some pictures that's showing it side by side with the picture from the lady from Helena Bonham Carter's character and Planet of the Apes, the Tim Burton version, the one that was done in the 90s or early 2000s.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg. Yep, exactly that one is that version. Which I like. I actually like it. So.
It still had what's his name, Robert Redford,
Charlton Heston.
Thank you, Charlton Heston. Only this time he was on the ape side.
He was an ape. Yeah. It was when that was before they had to pry the rifle from his cold dead hands.
Yep.
So yeah,
you damn dirty apes.
You should really read about that guy because a lot of people say he was a representative, and he was a representative of the Republican Party. He did one of the first white and one of the first mixed kisses on a movie that he did called Omega Man. On screen, and he was also very active during the civil rights, and he pushed the Republican legislature, the Republicans in the legislature to vote for it, and it got passed because of him.
No, he was a great example of American freedom and American liberty.
Absolutely,
he was a very honorable man, and I'm glad that. He was so capable of doing so many great things until he passed, because he definitely was an inspiration to many. Darn, I can't find the one I was looking for. Ah, there it is. I just found the one I wanted. But yeah, so one more. This is actually a bit of good news, guys. I don't know if y'all have seen this yet. I'm looking at the Washington Times, and federal appeals court today ruled that Texas's new version of the voter ID law can go into effect.
In my country, Trudeau's trying to repeal our voter ID laws.
Yeah, don't let them do it, man. Don't let them do it. The whole point of doing that is to allow illegals to vote, allow people who aren't allowed to vote to vote.
Well, and to allow multiple voting, in the case of the United States, in the South, it's a big thing with dead people voting and shit.
Yep.
And it's hard to present your ID when you're dead.
It really is. It really is.
So yeah, that's a good step Texas took to vote for it. Who is eating?
I am.
Will you please mute yourself? Please. Thank you.
I just posted the one, the side by side there. IRATE.
Enough said.
Irving, if you haven't seen the side by side image,
oh, Lord,
it's in the broadcasters only.
Oh.
Tom Pinoy and I got in kind of a chat exchange about this. I said that the tweet was funny, and before I could get the chance to say racist as fuck but funny, right? Racist as fuck but funny, right? You know, he's like, no, what do you mean, man? No, that's not funny at all. What was really funny was when the maker of Ambien said that, you know, one of the side effects wasn't racism, which was funny too, you know. And and so and I don't know if he got a chance to hear me say that, but I thought it was interesting, you know. Because it was funny, but it was also inappropriate as fuck. And she should have just stuck with the apology, and you know, I think that she could have. But you know, like they say, I think that you know, hindsight's 50-50, and shit, fuck it, it's done, it's over with, and I got a feeling that somebody's going to pick it up because it did so well. I mean, you know, sponsors, they're going to put the money where the eyeballs is. That's all I'm saying.
It's 2020, man, not 50-50.
That's a coach in the SEC did his version of that, and that's who I was ripping off. Coach. Okay. Pat Dye, the coach of Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So that's why I always say 50-50 instead of 2020, because it's funny.
But yeah, Irving, what do you think of the side-by-side shot there?
No, that's what I mean, is like, she didn't just pull it out of her ass. She literally saw those things, and you know what? I see them too, right? I might not have the wherewithal to see them in that way and make the joke, but I don't think she was being racist. I think she was just being Roseanne.
Yeah.
Right? Because, dude, look at that side-by-side. That's objectively funny. That's objectively funny.
Yeah. They even got the same sweater.
Yeah, I do.
The bangs, man.
Wow. You know, I really hate saying it and putting it like this, but you look at the two of them, and I'll be honest, daughter actually looks a little bit more human.
Oh man,
come here, look at this. You got to see this.
I done said enough about this shit, so I'm done. I'm through.
Right on.
Yeah.
You guys gotta give it to her.
I told you.
Is that your ma, dude, or your wife?
That's my mother.
It must be brain food.
The
Democrat
in the back has been saying it's horrible. She says that thing. I said, why? It's funny. I said, you even look at her. I said, I even said it. I'm glad the picture's up here. I'm going to show my wife in a little while. I said, yeah, I told you. Helen Bottom McCarter looks more human than this one does.
You know, Scoob, our moms would actually like each other and hit it off.
The whole thing.
Oh yeah.
You'd be like,
you put on the Hannity segment from tonight. The whole thing about all these Democrats and terrible things that they said, and that Jimmy Kimmel had a thing in his pants and he's going after this.
Yeah, that's old hat. Jimmy Kimmel's a degenerate.
Yeah, well, he's showed all this crap. That's
Yeah, that's old hat. Well, why don't they show these Democrats doing something, you know, I don't know, decent for once? That's a unicorn. Let them find that.
He showed a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
That sounds just like my mom, dude.
Yeah.
That must be an Irish thing.
It is, man. It is.
I think it's all of the northern British Isle areas there, because my grandmother was mostly Welsh and Scottish, and she sounded a lot like your mom, Scoot.
My mother's first generation American. Her parents were right off the boat from Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just, I don't know. I'd like to think it might be just like a Irish thing. Maybe it's just an immigrant thing because the values are a little bit different. You know, they actually had to work to come to this country. So, you know, not like this new generation, these dirty rat bastards. One sneaks in and then next thing you know, I got 30 cousins. Can you help them out? So,
yeah, no.
That is, yeah. I feel you.
Are those 30 cousins female? Because I got a corner they can stand on.
Oh, Tara, that's horrible.
No.
Hey, You want to sneak in? You can work illegally too.
They do. You know,
and
the
I get
best thing is
75% of your take.
the best thing is actually, especially for me living here, and a lot of my neighbors will tell you, part of the reason they voted for the president is because they'll tell me, they're like, Scoop, it's great. The past 2 years, I go to Home Depot. They all come to the house, they all work, and when it's time for pay, ICE is already in the driveway and they get rounded up.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
People I know are doing that.
That's
the whole house worked on, and then they'll go out there. They say the whole thing. They'll even tell the ICE officers on the phone. Listen, when you show up, I'm gonna act like a complete lunatic. Tell me you're gonna lock me up. Make it look good. That way they don't know I dropped a dime.
Oh man.
Do you know how many of my friends? That's what they do. They're seriously. One guy told me, he's like, I got 30 of them locked up in one shot.
Oh man. Well, it's just like I was online today, and I was looking at a news article, and they popped 560 of them in what was it, Arizona, in like a 6-sting operation.
What a lot of my friends will do, like the one guy, he was getting them to work on his house, and he kept going to like all the different Home Depots and all the different Lowe's. He'd go to a different one every day, because out here there's so many of them. You got like 40 or 50 Home Depots on Long Island, Brooklyn, and Queens.
Yeah,
40 or 50 Lowe's. You got another 40 or 50 Ace Hardware. So I mean, you know, and these guys, you know, they're not like racists. It's not like they're gonna say, oh, they all look the same to me. He's like, no, I go and I scout with the binoculars, make sure it's not anybody I turned in like 3 weeks ago. That way they don't slit my throat. You know, I'm not an idiot about it. That's what they do. They'll go and they round them up. They take them to their house for work, and they say, yeah, I'm gonna need you guys from 9 o'clock till 5. Come 4 o'clock, ICE is in the driveway. One guy told me, he's like, I got all this work done on my house. He's like, I paid for materials. I didn't pay the workers once.
Oh.
My mother, that's terrible. Well, let them become citizens. They get a green card that protects them.
That is horrible.
It's horrible, but you know what? Whatever, man. It is what it is. Just don't sneak into the country.
Oh, I'm not complaining.
No, my mother's yelling at me. She's like, that's horrible. Your friends are evil at taking advantage of the poor person. That's the Catholic in you, ma. You're a good person. You're gonna get into heaven. I, on the other hand, have 4 seats in hell.
Man, you gotta up your game. I've got a private box.
Nice.
Catered and everything.
I found some leftover indulgences from the Reformation, so you know I'm using them motherfuckers.
How'd you get a hold of them? Damn.
Hand me down. Ain't doing them no good.
I think they still do those in my diocese.
Indulgences?
I
Damn.
wouldn't be surprised.
Jesus.
Only diocese left in the country that still does Latin Mass.
Oh man, yeah, then they probably still do indulgences.
Well, Ma,
Yeah.
didn't when you left your ex-husband, they tried to get you to buy your way back into the church, right?
Yeah, it was, I think, $15,000.
Yeah, 15 grand. Yeah, they're probably still doing indulgences.
For an annulment.
Law
Uh-huh.
was a archbishop up in New Jersey, and he came down to see me, and he said to me, "What is the problem?" He said, "Well, you can't get into."
Yeah.
I said, "They won't let me take. I can't do confession. I can't receive communion. I'm excommunicated." He said, "Sweetheart, you're not excommunicated." He said, "You see Kennedy? She just married the Greek who is divorced."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "She paid. She can go in and get communion confession." He said, "So now I'm giving you absolution, and you can go do it."
Oh, good for you, Ma.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to pull the same bullshit on my brother-in-law when it was clear that his woman was, was not faithful to him. And he tried to marry, my sister. They gave him all this bullshit about annulment and stuff. And And finally, his family was they had made so many children that they had put so many kids through their school. You know, they had a priest go to bat for them and stuff, and you know, so that was taken care of. So.
Well, Father Kennedy tried to threaten me once about something. I flat out told him, I said, I'll call the diocese and tell them that you tried to stick your thumb up my ass. Shut his mouth. Give me a hard time because I was parking by his church.
Dude.
Yeah. Touches.
No
Give a
shit.
shit.
No shit.
Look. I got nothing but love for Jesus. It's his self-appointed mouthpieces I got a problem with.
Yeah.
Bunch of kitty touches and dog collars. Ain't got love for none of them.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, Jesus, all he told us was do was love each other, man. And, you know, I mean, shit. That's it.
Yeah.
And, that, you know, forget about the Old Testament. You know, I'm the new covenant. I'm the way, you know. Forget about the Old Testament. That's just over and done with. God loves you, and so do I, and y'all try to love each other, and it's going to be all right, you know. And we still can't do that shit.
You get yourself a copy of the Bible. Just read the shit that, you know, the words that are in red. Ignore the rest, and you're going to be.
There you go.
Besides, if it ain't written in red, it's written by a bunch of illiterate goat herders anyway. Who gives a fuck what they got to say? They've been dead for thousands of years. The paperwork that I even remotely use for guidance through my course of life was written in the 1770s and afterwards. It was written in this country. It was written by the founding fathers. The rest of it, as far as I'm concerned, is just cliff notes.
I don't know, man. Locke and Aquinas had some great stuff.
True, but it's, you know, the only shit I adhere to: the Federalist Papers, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, the Anti-Federalist Papers. That's the shit that Thomas Paine, that I adhere to. That's the shit I treat with as religious doctrine. The rest of it, as far as I'm concerned, is just really good, really old self-help. I say it like this: the Constitution is my Bible, and the flag is my cross, and that's it.
I kind of like that.
Yes.
Damn
That's
right.
the way I was raised. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's a good way to be, dude. Because naturally, you want to try and take care of the damn country. And sorry for being away for a little. Had to go and take care of a couple things. But as a patriot,
Go off.
it's all right. But as a patriot, naturally, you want to look after your country, and you want to try and make things better. Whether too far left, too far right, too far up, too far down, or whatever. You know, you need to look past the propaganda and go to the source of what exactly the hell is going wrong and fix it. Simple as that, man.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. This is the reason I say I'm so gung-ho, as, you know, I treat the country as my religion as opposed to an actual, like, religion, treating it as religion, because I'll break it down to you like this. Every one of us on the stream, we all Christian.
Nope.
Nope, sure as fuck not.
Kind of, sorta.
Whoa, I missed the question. My
No,
internet
I
skipped
just
out.
said, I just said, everyone on the stream, are we all Christian? And the answer was no. Aside from you, Irv, what I was about to say is everyone on the stream, we're all Americans, though. That's part of the reason I adhere to that as like a religion, because that's the one thing that unites us all.
Right.
I would like to just say in my defense, and I think you guys might agree, I'm about as American as a Canadian can get.
I know
I
that.
will not disagree with you on that one.
Definitely, 110%, man. That's why you got that sexy flag, man.
You know, and I'm hoping and praying within the next 5 to 10 years, God willing, that shit turns around in your country so much where people from other countries have a hard time differentiating between America and Canada.
Me too. Much
Seriously.
appreciated. Man.
That would actually be pretty damn cool, because you know what? I would buy a retirement home and a vacation home indefinitely. And my vacation home would be in Kanukistan over there, or proper Canada as it would be under those conditions. And and my retirement home is going to be with Mickey and those guys, so I can bug the shit out of them. I will give them my sharpest humor, and they will be able to do nothing about it.
I was planning on fleeing to Canada if Clinton won, so you know how I feel.
Well,
with you
I was
your retirement. I'm not dealing with Mickey. That shit.
It'll be.
Can you play What If, man, and imagine what the country would look like right now today? What would be going on?
Well, I can tell you what I'd be doing, IRATE. I'd be holed up in the middle of, probably in the middle of the Cascade Mountains, trying to figure out how the hell to get out of the People's Republic of Oregon without being seen. Because if she had won, there would already be gun confiscations in Oregon.
Oh yeah, and Chicago itself would just be screwed in general. Oh, all sorts of bad. Oh God, what's that? Ow! Ooh! What the hell was that crinkle? Ooh! Ow! 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 Did anyone else hear that, or is that just
I
me?
heard it. Yeah.
I heard it.
Ow!
My hamburger wrappers.
Please mute. That hurt like a motherfucker.
My microphone near my face.
It's a nerve thing. The sound of the crinkle and made him all get the chills. I'm the same way if someone scrapes a metal pot with a metal spoon. Same thing. I can't stand the sound.
The same way if someone runs their nails along a sheet
Ow.
or
No,
a
when I hear
There goes my tinnitus.
Yeah, when I hear certain sounds, I get like angry, and I don't know what that's about. But I mean, and I can be the happiest motherfucker on the planet, and just to hear a certain sound, I can't describe which one or when, but when it does it, I know it, man, because I'm instantly pissed.
Whole mood. Yeah,
That's
ruins your whole mood.
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. You know,
It's a trigger. It's literally a trigger that you have that's associated with that noise. That noise, sometime when you were younger, that noise is associated with something bad that happened.
Probably. I agree.
Like with me, with the sound of the metal spoon on the metal plate, it's not like I don't react emotionally. I get the chills. I get the chills in my teeth chatter when I hear that noise. It's psychosomatic. I have no control over it.
Everybody say hey to the Goat Man because he's here.
Hey, Goat Man, what's up,
Hey,
dude?
Goat Man.
Goat Man.
Yeah.
No, Keld, I am not making the crinkling sound again so you can hear Burnside in pain.
No. Yeah, please.
I like you, brother.
That just fucking hurt. That literally kicked my tinnitus on instantly, and I was just like, oh, balls.
Now I know. It won't happen again.
Thank you. I love you.
I just thought of something, Terry. You said Sunday you're going to try to get Scribelight rather is going to be on with you on Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Uh-oh.
So we all of us, we have to try desperately between now and Sunday to get Jordan Peterson on the same stream. That way the chat can guess which one of them is talking.
And a recording of Kermit.
I was just going to say.
We can get the recording of Kermit from Foster. Foster has Kermit. 'Cause
Hello,
he's used him a
Kermit
couple
the
times
Frog
for
here.
his,
You know. Hello, everyone.
I like Scribelight.
It ain't easy being green.
And I think Scribe mentioned it in his or during the show or something, because my brother messaged me just before we went on air saying, I want part of the Scribelight show.
I always got to give my Goat Man some love, man, because every time he shows up, it ends up being a good stream. Every bad stream I've had, he has missed. So, trust me when I say,
Calling me a bitch.
Goat Man is a good man, and he's good for this. It's good for my channel.
Florida Florida man story.
It's so awesome.
You ready to do Florida Man, Tara?
At the house. So I
You're
have
not-
good internet.
All right, let's hear some Florida Man.
Is accused in 13 Gulfport vehicle burglaries. Tipped police off.
So this putz went and robbed all these houses with the bracelet on, and the cops just went and looked on the map, and it shows that he was there when it robbed. That's great.
18-year-old man wearing an ankle bracelet was arrested Thursday after he was accused of breaking into 13 cars in a one-block radius over the last week. His mistake was doing it on the same fucking block. Second is the fact that he didn't find a way to take off that fucking anklet. Register your pulse so it knows if it's connected. Benjamin Langkamp Jr. faces 13 charges of vehicle burglary, which occurred over 3 days near 30th Avenue South and 31st and Beach Boulevard South to 56th Street South. Their windows smashed in as well. That's another mistake.
Well, how many days had
Slim Jim.
he been on the ankle bracelet?
Doesn't say yet.
He just got released that day.
Still on the location.
He's on his way home from court.
What's this?
And no criminals in the area. Police say they pegged Langkamp Jr., who was wearing a court-ordered ankle bracelet, as a suspect. Data from the ankle bracelet and a confession from Langkamp led to his arrest. And that is all there is.
Yeah, that's real dumb. That's like stupid criminal tricks, you know.
Well,
like
you know,
tricks.
I would think that at some point somebody's going to say, you know what? I think this is bullshit. I think they're bluffing. You know, with the ankle bracelet. You know, what if these things are just empty, man? You know, I don't know. I can see somebody just not believing it, not buying it, man. And
Yeah.
you know, it's going to be worth it. So they go and over this is a 3-day period, right? So the dude hit 15 cars and houses.
Just cars.
Oh.
All right. It's McDonald's customers forced to pay for cheese they don't want. Customers file suit alleging deceptive and misleading practices.
Oh. That's the class
Lauderdale,
action.
Florida. 2 South Florida residents are suing McDonald's, claiming the fast food giant is forcing customers to pay for cheese, quarter pounder, and double quarter pounder burgers, even if they only want plain burgers. Earlier this month in Fort Lauderdale, federal court is seeking a class action status on behalf of plaintiffs Hissner and Leonard Werner. Lawsuit. McDonald's has for years sold a quarter pounder, double quarter pounder cheese option as 4 separate items on the menu. Actually, a link to look at the lawsuit. However, the lawsuit claims McDonald's ceased separately displaying these products for purchase on menus. It claims McDonald's listed only quarter pounder with cheese and double quarter pounder with cheese as menu items, including their availability to purchase as part of a value meal. This is at McDonald's. A customer who ordered a quarter pounder was required for a quarter pounder with cheese, which was given to the customer without cheese, the lawsuit claims. When a customer wanted a double quarter pounder, the customer was required to order and pay for a double quarter pounder with cheese, which was given to the customer without cheese. This practice employed when a customer wanted a value meal that included neither a quarter pounder or quarter pounder. Yes?
I was going to say, you do know about your state when it comes to these laws, right?
The fact
Florida doesn't Florida doesn't screw around when it comes to false advertising. They're going to throw the book at these people.
Yeah.
They really, really don't.
That's one thing Florida's known for.
Alleges that the customers charge for these products by being forced to pay for 2 slices of cheese, which they did not want, order, or receive, to be able to purchase their desired product. It goes on to accuse McDonald's of deceptive and misleading practices, saying the fast food chain is being unjustly enriched by these practices because it receives payment for the cheese it does not deliver to its customers. Local 10 News has contacted McDonald's and Miami T. Lavin, who filed the lawsuit seeking a comment. Florida does not play when it comes to false advertising.
It's known for that.
Well, I think that's smart, man. You know, whoever, if you think about it, the way that they were doing that, they've been getting away with this shit for years, all over the United States. So, you know, it's like, okay, so think about all that money that they did make over the cheese that they didn't sell, but they sold, right? So that was cheese that they were able to use on other burgers to get more money out of it. So, I mean, I think that's a valid. I think it's a valid. Part of me says it's valid from a legal standpoint, and part of me says it's like, okay, it's a proof that we have a ridiculous tort system, you know.
6 on one side and half a dozen on the other, but I do see the point.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, up here, that's the thing. They have to offer it to you without cheese because there's so many people that are lactose intolerant.
Mm-hmm.
You go into 7-Eleven up here, they have not just half and half. You have, like, for the coffee, you have half and half. You have non-dairy creamer. You have soy milk. They have to have everything out there because, that's how this state is. You can't discriminate. That's the thing. Like, you go to McDonald's, they offer a veggie burger. They offer all this shit. And they have to ask you if you want cheese because they can't just assume because, that's illegal here. Really, they crack down over here. And I'm surprised, honestly, that they're Florida, like out of any state, the last one on earth you want to do something like that is Florida.
Right.
Good on their part.
Yeah, it's like when I was a kid, and this is something that who was it that I was streaming with? They mentioned something about like being the kids sitting next to the peanut allergy table, know, at the fucking in the cafeteria at school. And see, they didn't have a peanut allergy table when I went to school, right?
Nope.
I don't even remember seeing anybody react from a peanut allergy. Where did the fucking peanut allergies come from? That's one question.
Genetically modified communism.
Possibly.
No, hold on. What used to happen was that kids with deathly peanut allergies just died. So we didn't know about them, right?
Well, now, hold on.
Parents, if their kids had a peanut allergy, they would literally get permission from the school, because some of the schools I went to, they did this. They would get permission for the students to either eat in like the office, the nurse's office, or in their classroom.
Well, damn.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that's got peanut oil in it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not just that, they don't want to sit there and say it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No one wants to admit it, but children generally children are stupid. They do stupid things.
Yeah.
You tell them, don't eat this, it'll kill you, and they're going to sneak because they figure, well, no one saw me, so it won't kill me.
And it kills them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why they have to put them at separate tables.
Yep.
No, but I've heard stories of such bad peanut allergies that somebody ate peanuts on a desk 2 days earlier, and it was never wiped down.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody puts their forearm on it and nearly dies.
Holy shit.
Right, like it can be that bad, right? But yeah, most of those kids,
that's got to be some type of unnatural
40, 50, 60 to 100 years ago. They just died. They died at 3 to 5 years old. Right? Like But now we have EpiPens. Now we have these, you know, sort of bubble wrapped kids, especially that now you're not allowed to bring peanut butter into schools in Canada.
Yeah, they can't even bring the only thing they can bring now is fucking gummy bears. You know, and they have to be approved. And I'm sure now because of vegans and shit, they can't bring that in there, man, because there's the gelatin.
So I hate saying this though, but it's selection allergies. You know what you call a mountain lion with allergies?
Dead.
Yeah.
Dead. You know what you call a Kodiak bear with allergies? Dead.
Dead.
Seriously. When was the last time that you guys seen like a leopard that was hard of hearing? Or nearsighted lion? It doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nature's way of, right. I get it. It's nature's way of thinning the herd.
This is a funny thing. The Nazis, they loved their Dobermans, right? And they would crop the ears and bob the tails of these dogs.
Right.
There's I can't remember what it's called.
I think you're thinking of the Shepherds.
No. Dobermans.
They used Dobermans too, yeah. They did.
Oh.
But the Dobies used to be worse for this. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, but it's basically, now I can't remember what it's called in people. What's it called in people when you can't stop bleeding?
Oh, hemophilia.
Hemophilia.
Hemophilia. So it's hemophilia for dogs. Dobermans used to be the worst for this. But after the Germans started breeding them and cropping ears and bobbing tails, so many of them died that gene doesn't exist in Dobermans anymore. No Doberman gets the dog version of hemophilia. They get cancer all the goddamn time, but they don't get hemophilia anymore.
Hemophilia in dogs.
Yeah, there's a word for it. It's a German word, I think. Like it sounds sort of like the other dog, Weimaraner, but it's not that.
I used to know the word for it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. I'd have to look it up in my dictionary.
Really quick though, just to add credence to what Irv is saying, I do remember hearing something about this. I'm surprised you remembered this, Irv. The Dobermans, you see what it was. They would use the German Shepherds when they were going out and actually like doing dirt. But the Dobermans, a lot of the Schulstaffel that was in charge of like the concentration camps, they would keep the Dobermans there as mascots.
Yeah, they have such a look to, like, I'm sorry, I know people love their German Shepherds, but there's no, you've seen how handsome my Akita is. There's no dog as pretty as a Doberman, right? When you stand up their ears, oh god, that's the sexiest dog I've ever seen.
The min pins are fucking adorable.
Yeah, but yeah, I see what you're. Yeah, well, you know why they bob the tails, don't you? It's because they're like fucking whips, and they run around the. You know, if they ran around your house, man, anything on a fucking on your coffee table or anything would be on the floor. Yeah. You know, because
that's actually where that originated from.
A specific type of dog enough, like French bulldog. They also bob the tails. Peter, that she bred her dogs just right, that they were born with already pointy ears.
That is very hard to do, but
it is impressive.
Yeah.
It's because I watched them being born.
Puppies.
The reason they started doing that with the Dobermans is originally they were doing this years ago with Rottweilers, where they would bob the tail and they would clip the ears. Specifically, they would clip the ears because Rottweilers are known for just, even playfully, but they are known for like, the ears would have a tendency to tear. So they would clip the ears just to actually keep them from getting in the way. But they would bob the tail because they actually used they used Rottweilers as draft animals back in the day.
Really?
Small, yeah. Yep. You can actually look at
small draft animals.
Yeah, a lot of dogs, specifically Mastiff type dogs, were actually draft dogs. Now, the reason that they did this with Dobermans weren't draft dogs, but because of the coloration being almost identical to Rottweilers, and it's a much more handsome look on a Doberman than it is on a Rottweiler to have the bobbed tail and bobbed ears.
I don't know about that. I've seen some Rottweilers that look
There it
really,
is.
really good with bobtails.
Yes,
Not the ears. I'm not too keen on the ears.
Not the ears. My Rottweiler had a full tail, and I loved him. He was awesome. But
see, I don't have a problem either way with the tails or the ears on the rots, but I do know that they were used as draft animals, and that was part of the reason why they did bump the tails, because the Rottweiler tails don't stand up like the other draft dogs.
And thank you, Nope Nope. Von Willebrand's disease.
Von Willebrand's
disease. Yeah.
Nice. Thanks. Nope.
Recycle back to the peanut thing. When I worked at a deli, he used to give kids either sugar cookies, chip cookies. Now, mind you, all the ingredients of these fucking cookies is on the bottom, including telling what kind of oil it's made in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently we had to stop giving them chocolate chip cookies because somebody grabbed a chocolate chip cookie, and it says on the package, this product may contain peanut products. Mm-hmm. Their kid had a peanut allergy, got a chocolate chip cookie, ate it, ended up in the hospital.
God.
Giving away chocolate chip cookies. And we also, some dumb motherfucker had a peanut allergy and ate some of our fried chicken. Went to the hospital because, well, we used this mix oil that was like a portion of peanut oil and the rest was vegetable oil.
Right.
Just cooked it real nice. Turned to soy oil, which when it pretty much turns into nothing but fucking lard.
It's disgusting.
Oh, molasses lard. And the chicken did not taste the same. Yeah. It did not look the same. Some dumb fucks did not ask us if there was peanut products. We would have been more than willing to look at the packages and let them know.
You know, there was over by where MS-13 is chopping everybody up, there was this bodega I used to know, and I used to go to. I was friendly with the guy who owned it, Manny, and he was a little bit nuts. This Manny was short for Manuel, and he had a sign up in the front that it was in English and in Spanish, and it said, "We cook with peanuts. If you don't like it, leave."
Nice. Yeah, no, that's freedom, baby.
Truck dumps 40,000 pounds of chicken feathers onto highway.
Oh.
What's heavier, 40,000 pounds of feathers or 40,000 pounds of oil?
They both weigh the same. That's a great. That's a great one. I mean, you know, because like people don't think when you ask them that shit, they just think about, you know, yeah. So that's a good one.
But also, I was playing off the spills on a highway, right? Like, you know, obviously one of these things is worse.
Yeah, no shit.
Federal Highway, Washington, made a foul mess when it rolled over in Washington State. 40,000 pounds. That's 1,845 kilograms for you, Irving.
Thank you.
Washington State Patrol Trooper Rick Johnson says the driver told investigators that he fell asleep at about 3:30 a.m. Wednesday north of Tacoma. Truck which hit a guardrail and overturned. It was from a poultry factory to a rendering company in Vancouver. Canadian company recycles animal byproducts into ingredients for items including pet feed and soap. Tribune paper of Tacoma reports traffic blocked for up to 11 miles. 18 kilometers for you, Irving. Scooped up the feathers. Johnson said the driver would be cited for negligent driving. Seriously, it puts the kilometers and kilograms on here, so I had to roll with it.
Oh yeah. I
Well, that's
appreciate
because-
it, 'cause sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, that's because in Washington they're required to report information like that in the news in both standard and metric.
You know, I actually like that.
Standard, is that what you guys call it now? I've
Yeah,
always known it as imperial.
It's imperial standard.
Okay.
Another Florida man story.
See, but that's just funny that you guys threw off everything British except the imperial standard measuring system. I don't know why you wouldn't be all eager to embrace metric. You know what I mean? Before you do another Florida man story, can I do the NHL?
Yeah, really quick though. If you have to remember though, when we adopted those systems, one system, the imperial system, as you refer to it, is the one that the trappers and everyone down here were already using. But the ones up by you, when Robespierre instituted the metric system, you guys were still in communications with France. That's part of the reason you adopted that, as well as the Franco law, as opposed to the Anglo law, if I remember.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Thank you.
Argo man broke into a jewelry store, cut himself on glass, and bled all over everything, police say.
Really?
Bled on everything.
Argo man was arrested Monday after police said he broke into the front door of a jewelry store and stole $10,000 in jewelry. Processed and left blood everywhere in the store.
Had he never seen NCIS? I mean,
31 on a charge of burglary on Monday morning after a short ways away, covered in blood. I had to make sure I read that right. Were called to the Silver Queen jewelry store in response to a burglary. Surveillance video that showed a man arriving on a black bicycle and then destroying the glass front door to get inside. The burglar breaking into display cases by smashing the glass and taking several pieces of jewelry. He then left the store and hid the jewelry in some bushes. Officers noted that there was a large amount of blood throughout the scene in the store from the defendant injuring himself on the broke glass. Minutes after their arrival, officers found Williams several hundred feet from the store wearing the same clothes as the burglar, a gray t-shirt, blue shorts, and red sandals, and covered in blood.
Yeah. Am I abetting at this point if I say, God sakes, just bring a super soaker filled with bleach with you wherever you go?
Ammonia works better.
Does.
Thoroughly degrades the samples. They can actually...
Well, now you're definitely abetting. I'm just...
I learned that on CSI.
They're abetting now.
I learned that from Uncle Dominic.
Show aiding and abetting criminals. What the hell?
You learned that from Uncle Dominic, Scooby?
Two of the things I learned as a boy was ammonia kills the evidence with blood. The other thing I was taught was if you want to get rid of somebody, you just get yourself an oil drum, fill it with lye, stick them in there, and go to Florida for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I learned that one too from a friend.
They use hydrochloric and certain plastics now. That works a little bit faster, I think. Lye takes time.
Yeah, well, this is, the man told me this. He was already, he was as ancient as the hills, and he told me this in, I think, like 1985, 1984, so...
Scooby, be careful with talking about that stuff with lye. I've got lye in my house.
Everyone has lye in their house at some point.
Well, Irving,
all your
DNA
right?
sample from him to compare to the blood left in the store. His Miranda rights. Williams said that he wanted a lawyer. However, he did ask officers, "What are you going to do with my bike?" that the burglar had leaned against the tree. He was being held at Pinellas County Jail Tuesday in lieu of a $5,000 bail.
Irving, what I was getting at is I actually have powdered sodium hydroxide for lye.
Oh, we usually keep it in rock formation to put a little bit in with the soil to change the acidity.
Mm-hmm.
See, I use it for making soap. So.
Oh, you make your own soap? Holy shit! Where do you get the fat?
Dude, all over the place. There's all sorts.
You just
of
render
ways
your
to get
fat from like your meats and shit.
Actually, I've got a couple of pails of coconut oil over in the corner, and I've got some olive oil and pine tar and a few other things that I use.
Nice.
Yeah, I bet for people who love the smell of coconut, that's some fantastic soap.
The coconut doesn't smell at all when you're done.
Really?
The coconut oil, when you render it down, it loses its smell, just like cocoa butter. When you render it and harden it, it loses a lot of its smell.
That's again, that's another impressive do-it-yourself. I can't imagine that's cheaper than just buying soap, though, is it?
Oh, what are you talking about, man? I can buy a 5-gallon jug of olive oil, a bottle of lye.
Yeah, but your time is worth. Hold on, you know what your labor is worth. You have a job.
Yeah.
Do the hours now. Are you getting a return on that? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man. When I make it, I'm doing 5-10 pounds of soap at a time. It takes like half
pounds unless you make it yourself. That's awesome.
And I mean, I'm doing it like once a year. It takes like 2 hours.
Wow.
And I've got soap for the rest of the year, and I give some away as gifts, even.
Yes, of course, Uzi. I saw Fight Club.
You guys can see what this guy looks like. I am posting the link. Only chat.
My mother didn't buy soap until she was married to my father because they made soap in her house.
Whoa, that guy has got some serious face tatting.
Yeah, isn't he a schizophrenic? Didn't we do something on this guy earlier?
Oh, because this happened today.
Oh.
He looks a lot. Yeah, he looks a lot like a guy we did a report on like 6 months ago.
It may be him.
Playground equipment at Clearwater Park and tells kids where babies come from.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, when was that?
Yeah, he was wanking his pud on the public beachway.
And this is where babies.
May 30th, 2018. This happened today.
Yeah,
no.
Different. It's the same guy though.
No, it's
same guy.
Different from liberal sex ed as it's happening in Canada right now for 5 to 8.
Yeah, the article that popped up says May 21st.
I'm sorry, I gotta address Nope here.
What do you address?
Nope. Where do you get the fat? We're fucking Americans. How much fat do you want?
Yeah, no, Irving, most of the time I use olive oil, and
dude.
I just buy it at Costco in like the big 5-gallon jugs.
Oh, okay.
And so a 5-gallon jug's like $15, and I use that for like 3 or 4 years.
Use the real, like the recycled
Might be the
stuff.
same guy, but I'm scanning this. He's not yanking his pud.
No, before, like back in February, he was like publicly masturbating on the beach.
Down the road that does that.
This guy, man.
A Florida man climbed atop a piece of equipment at a Clearwater Beach playground Sunday and yelled at a bunch of children in the area. His message:
Where babies come from.
Otis Dwayne Ryan, 30, into custody on a charge of disorderly conduct. The incident occurred at 3 p.m. on Sunday
at a park in the area
of Pier 60.
Yep.
Ryan at first was approaching tourists and making inappropriate comments to women in an effort to get their male partners to confront him. Area was watching him at the time. I watched Ryan walk over to a busy playground on top of one of the children's toys that was being occupied by children between the ages of 4 and 6.
Oh, Lord.
Arrest report. And then he started shouting from the top telling the children that babies come out of women, and used, in doing so, probably pussy or cunt.
Yeah, he was saying that. Yeah, P word.
No, I better not post
Parents
that.
were rushing to the area to remove their children.
No shit. Come on, John. Come on.
Laughing my ass off because my kid would already know this.
Come on, Jimmy.
Police noted that Ryan has caused a number of disturbances in the area recently, and jail records show a number of arrests over the last year on charges of disorderly conduct, battery, and carrying a concealed weapon.
Holy shit.
Showed that in Sunday's case, Ryan was
What is that noise?
$118 from the park. Just $118. Are you fucking kidding me?
That basically it would be if he didn't actually expose himself. It's just what's the word for swearing? Public indecency.
Yeah, cussing.
Yeah,
I don't even think they can get you for cussing. You know, and I don't know about Florida. I mean, you know, it's like
Florida, you can be arrested for it. It's known as profanity.
Right.
Yeah, but it's real hard. It's real hard to get charges on something like that to stick more than just a fine, though. Even if he's being completely and utterly lewd, you know.
That's just gnarly, dude.
Up here, you look at a cop cross-eyed, they arrest you.
Well, there's a big difference between arresting and convicting, you know.
Right, so you remember that story about, you know, the coworker that was trying to get back at someone, so they put laxatives in the
brownies?
To get back at a coworker, St. Pete woman took photos of her on the toilet. She now faces charges.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that might actually. You can argue that construes like sexual assault and shit.
Yeah. Well, it does in many states.
Irving, you're starting to think like a liberal, man. I don't know about that shit.
No. Look.
Voyeurism laws.
Yeah. I'm a private person, okay? I don't want you to look at my mail, and I don't want you to see my junk unless I consent to that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, you take a picture of me dropping a deuce, that's you crossing a fucking line with me, buddy. And I'm not going to go to the cops. I'm going to go to your face with my elbow. Right? And I have good reason. Everyone in this chat is going to agree that I have reason here, okay?
I agree.
Agreed.
Consent for you to send me some new photos.
I would consent to that, right? You can ask all you want, but you can't take them without my permission.
So y'all did do the NHL report?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, then
shall I?
Well, yeah, because there's something that I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about it or where I heard it. So yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try and do it in my calmest 6 type voice, and this is the NHL update brought to you by Irving Twin on behalf of the next 6 minutes. The Washington Capitals have tied up the series of the Stanley Cup Finals at 1-1 with a 3-2 victory over the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Thanks in special part to the Capitals goalie Holtby, who made an incredible stick save on what should have been an easy goal for the Knights with 2 minutes remaining in the third period. And that is the NHL update brought to you by the next 6 minutes and Irving Twin.
Thanks, Irving. Was it? I cannot remember where I was talking with somebody about this, but the Bunny Ranch has promised like freebies to the team. Okay,
if throw them off, okay.
If they win.
No. Look.
If Vegas wins the cup, they got each guy's got a freebie with the woman of his choice.
I understand that motivational tactic. On the other hand, you got to look at it this way. These are guys who at this point are playing for the love of the game. And you know why? Because their teams didn't protect them in the draft. They were let like as free agents. Oh yeah, no, we can play without you.
I feel you.
All right, and one of those players was Marc-Andre Fleury, just a monster of a fucking goalie. Okay, that they're like, yeah, we'll be okay without you. They let him go, and he's been phenomenal all season, all playoffs. He's just, damn Ovechkin. I feel you, JP. But yeah, like. They're a bloody dream team of leftovers and castaways, and they're playing for the joy of it. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this concept of a difference between joy and pleasure. The pleasure thing's going to throw them off. Let them play for the joy of it, all right? Because these guys, right, some of them are kids. Like, you have guys as young as, 21, 22 in their first or maybe second season in the NHL, and they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. On an expansion team in their first season, playing in the middle of the fucking desert.
And that's amazing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this is incredible. Let them just play. You don't have to give them any more.
You gave me chills. You gave me chills saying that.
And I'm a Jets fan. We got our asses handed to us by these kids. Like, no. I'm all for them, man. I'm all for them right now.
Well, good.
I can get over
to be fair, I'm rooting for them as well.
Me too.
I'm rooting for them as well. They beat the Preds, and as much as I wanted to see the Predators win the Stanley Cup, I'm rooting for them because they deserve it.
But yeah, this would be like Vanderbilt, playing in the SEC championship,
Yep.
And winning. I would pull out, I was a Vandy fan when I lived in Tennessee. But yeah, I think that was more of a publicity thing for the Bunny Ranch, but then again, if I was one of those players, I'd probably, if they win it, man, take them up on it,
Yeah, I don't mind the excitement. 1-1. That's great, and the Caps are playing great hockey. They really are. But the Knights, when they're on, they are so on. When Fleury is on, he is so on, and yeah, I think they have a great chance. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 7 games and everybody has to prove it. And no shame to the loser here. It was a hard fight here, and this is going to be a hard fucking series, man. Yep. This is going to be incredible. 1-1, and we're just getting started.
Yep. It wouldn't bother me if they made a deal to go, the full 6 games, and then to play their hearts out on that 7th game for the thing. Because I kind of get that they get a cut of the each game if they play a game. I don't think anybody's planning on going 4 and out. But then again, if that happens, that would be awesome. I'm pulling for Las Vegas, and I'm not a big hockey fan, but I like it. When it's on, I'll watch it. Right? Fuck yeah!
It's a great fucking story. It's a goddamn Mighty Ducks movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like when we played against the Russians. You remember that?
Yes.
In the 1980s.
Yeah. What was 80. That? Yeah, it was 1980 and
Miracle.
Yeah, it was Miracle. But yeah, man, with Kurt Russell, man, what a good movie. That is a great film to see, man. It's all about that coach getting them together and getting them focused and shit. It's an excellent movie. A good coach can make a huge difference. And
JP saying, I'm glad the Golden Knights didn't make their team out of rookies from Vegas. Yeah, no, that makes sense too. But also, one of the things about the Knights is, at least for this season, in particular in the playoffs, they made tickets non-transferable. Scalpers can't buy tickets and resell them at exorbitant prices. So basically, Vegas actually has like a population. People don't think about it like that. They think about Vegas as like the Strip and Fremont Street. and nobody lives there. People live there. There's like 1 million+ people now in Las
huge,
Vegas.
Yeah, it's a huge city.
And it's a lot. It's mostly poor people living on slightly above minimum wage, right? That they can live, but they don't have a lot of entertainment available to them the way that tourists do, because tourists come with all their savings and lose it. But point being, the tickets that people bought are cheap and accessible to basically everybody in Las Vegas, and they're not transferable. So if you have those tickets, right, there's no scalping, there's no price gouging on the tickets, right? All the lower class families, the working class families in Vegas, they have their tickets and they're gonna watch every one of these games, man.
Yep.
It's great.
Okay, a St. Petersburg woman is facing a felony voyeurism charge after she took photos of a coworker using the restroom, says St. Petersburg police.
Ooh.
Kostin, 25, was arrested Thursday on the charge. She later was released on a $20,000 bond. To the arrest affidavit, a woman told St. Petersburg police that Kostin had taken the photos and sent them to her in a text message. Kostin then showed the photos to coworker, a text message that said, "You're going down." Viewed the photos and wrote that they show the woman using the restroom and sitting on the toilet. The person who took the photos is obviously outside looking through the window. It does not identify the workplace or what matter of dispute the women had been having.
So this is a blackmail situation?
Kind of sounded like it, ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it sounds like. I don't understand what she could have against. You know what I'm saying? I've got an illegal picture that I obviously took of you because I'm outside and it's through a window of you going to the bathroom. It's like, I don't see how that could hurt the other person. Unless, you know, there's something about themselves they wanted to hide. Well, you know, their privacy and shit. I get that. I don't know. I overthink shit. And so, hey. That's... So,
Dude, this one St. Pete man gets drunk, falls off a bicycle, hits man at hospital with a folding chair. A St. Pete man gets drunk, falls off bicycle, hits man at hospital with folding chair. In April.
Gotta love it.
3-year-old man hospitalized Monday for falling off his bike after drinking too much and was day after police said he struck another man with a folding chair at Bayfront Health, St. Petersburg. Jimmy McRae faces a charge of battery. Place at 11 a.m. Monday. Police said McRae was brought to the hospital after falling off a bicycle and appeared to have been under the influence of alcohol at the time of the incident. At the hospital, officers said McRae removed a C-clamp from around his neck, jumped out of the bed, and approached his girlfriend in the emergency room. Doctors asked him to return to bed, but he became angry, picked up a metal folding chair, and swung it around. Leg. Hospital security then restrained McRae and secured him to a hospital bed with leather straps. To the Pinellas County Jail. Why the fuck not Pinellas County? And soon freed after posting a $500 bail. $500.
What? I thought you go from 1 to 1,000, 100 to 1,000. There's no 5, right? What?
Pinellas County there is. The man who was hit by the chair suffered minor injuries to his elbows while helping restrain McRae.
I don't know about that restraint shit.
Just out of curiosity, do they have that same stupid law in Florida that they have up here?
Which stupid law?
Which?
The judge sets the bail at $5 grand, but if you show up with 500 cash, you can take
10%. You have to post 10%, and then then you're hit for the rest if you break bail. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much a nationwide thing.
I'm pretty sure that's standard. It's the same here.
Yeah, same in the United States.
It sets the bail. He sets the bail.
That's how bondsmen make money, right? Is that now you owe them the 90%, right?
Plus,
and they use that money to pay bounty hunters to go get you.
Yep. You don't pay.
Okay, this happened today.
Yeah.
Guys, you're gonna love this. It's a Florida woman.
Oh.
Oh God, was she wrestling gators?
Shaving her legs in a public hotel roast the internet.
I saw that shit.
Shaving in the pool.
Oh my God.
And I can see why. She probably can't fit into the tub.
It was on Twitter, dude.
Oh, one of those.
Is she that big?
Yeah, but then how the hell does she reach past her knees?
That's why she was in the pool, because of the flotation. It brings her legs up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Here, I'll post the link in the...
The broads out of Wally, huh? Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yep, a land whale.
As I ever get that big, you guys put me on a meat slicer.
People are
good. That big, we'll take you to Japan and sell you for $10 a pound to retire.
I hate you. Yeah, that is sure to make you think twice before taking a dip in a public pool. Thank God I don't swim in pools. I swim in springs. Redefining what many people would consider personal hygiene. The cringe-inducing video was posted to Reddit 2 days ago and depicts a woman sitting on the steps of a public pool, shaving her legs while children play in the water. The video is said to have been taken in Florida, according to the original poster.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, man. It is so nasty. Oh, here it is.
5.5 thousand upvotes on the side and more than 1,600 comments before the comments were turned off. And of course, it blew up Twitter.
Absolutely.
It says, wait, doesn't everyone shave their legs in the public swimming pool?
Oh, Christ.
You know
Damn,
what I'm saying?
that's nasty.
Yep.
I just can't get over that. You know, kind of complete loss. Normally, I'm good with things like this, but
Look, this is just stupid. This is like people trimming their toenails on the bus, right?
Yeah.
Like,
don't remind me. I used to see that like every other week when I used mass transit in Portland.
But you know what I mean. It's people who are either malevolent or oblivious, and I don't think either thing is okay. Right?
No shit, man.
You're not allowed to not notice there are people around you. That's you have to know this puts people off, right? That's the one thing that I expect parents to teach their children outside of self-sufficiency, right? Take care of yourself. Now, also, don't trim your toenails on the goddamn bus. Like, how hard is that?
It's not hard, Irving. It's not. But that's part of the problem they're having in Western culture right now, man. Is people are like, don't tell me how to live.
I'm not telling you how to live. I'm telling you how to behave with other people. That's different. You go home and live however the fuck you want. Okay? Trim your toenails in front of the fucking TV. And right? Shave.
Yeah.
Get your own goddamn pool and shave in the pool. But dude, keep that shit to your goddamn self. Christ.
So when I used to go into Manhattan and I go into like the clubs, I'd take the train a lot, you know, to pregame because it was expensive. And you'd see, because you're going from Long Island into Manhattan, and you're going to see a lot of, and I'm not saying this trying to, you know, like gas up my neighborhood, but you're going to see like a lot of like supermodels and things of that nature. You're going to see a lot of like gorgeous women because they have nice houses out east and they commute back and forth by train into the city, especially like on Friday or Saturday night to go to the nightclubs.
Right.
I say this because I've seen women that a dime would be an understatement. Some of the most gorgeous women you'll ever see, stunning, like actual women. I don't even know their names because I don't go up and talk to them. But women that, you know, you'll see in like magazines or things of that nature. And when I tell you that 9 times out of 10, the nicer looking they are, disgusting, their fucking personal hygiene is holy shit. The dirty shit you see these broads doing while they're on the train, just nasty. Like digging in their nose and wiping it on the seat rest in front of them, fucking picking their teeth with like a business card and rubbing it on the armrest. Just nasty shit.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen more dime pieces do shit you would not expect. You would not expect dirty shit like this from truck drivers. Seriously, just some bar nuns nasty shit.
Scooby, Irving, and Vetran, I sent it to you.
That same oblivious nature. And the more attractive a person is, the more they get away with it like just over their life. It comes to a point where they don't give a shit because people will bend over backwards. Like, oh God, I'm so hot. People fucking do everything I want, and they stop caring because they don't have to.
Scooby, you know? Irving, and Vetran, check your Twitters. I sent you the video of it, and would y'all catch everybody else because that was as fast as I could. Yeah, it's you got to see it, man. It's like yesterday, Uzi Q's going, what is she doing? Is she spooning? Is that a spoon she's using? And I said, baby, she's shaving her legs. She went, oh my God. It was funny as shit.
Yeah.
That bitch is nasty. God damn. That's some nasty shit.
Now, everyone knows I'm not really a political person. I live in Tampa Bay because a Tampa Bay lawyer tweets, never trust a Muslim. Now he wants to be a judge.
Okay.
That's dumb.
Look, I get it, and also I don't, and that's because I'm Canadian, all right? And I have a Muslim neighbor, right? Still wears, what do you call it? What's the word for it? It's like a robe, right?
Yeah.
But he's walking 3 gigantic, what's it called? Golden retrievers. They're all 100+ pounds. The big one's at 140, bigger than my dog's. Dwarfs my dog. Why? Because his kids wanted dogs. Because he came to Canada to be Canadian, and is Muslim or not, right? He's Canadian now. So whatever Muhammad said about dogs, he's like, fuck that. We Canada, kids want dogs. We're gonna have them. And now he has these 3 terribly trained dogs because his kids gave up on them, obviously, and he has to walk all these dogs. My point is, yeah, no, I get it. There's taqiyya in Islam, but at the same time, you can't give up on everybody because they're Muslim. I don't like that either.
Yeah, my niece is a Muslim.
Go ahead.
She means the world to me. Say my nephew's wife, my niece, she's a Muslim. She's an Albanian Muslim. That girl means the world to me. Love with all my heart.
To be fair, Irving, I don't have a problem with all Muslims. I do have a problem with the ones that are trying to enact the bounty on my head.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that
and
one,
you know, I won't go into the countries where that bounty is still valid, but you know, some of the guys I work with are Muslim, and they're pretty good guys, and I don't have a problem with them individually. I do have a general problem with the philosophy of their religion.
Yeah, and you're talking about what happens when that philosophy, that ideology, gets so big and so broad that it runs an entire nation.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a lot of people, because guess what? dude, Christianity and Judaism weren't very different from that when they were running entire nations. But
Sure.
we don't.
Oh yeah.
No, I know, and I'm not saying that to you specifically. I'm saying that like in general, right?
Yeah.
And that's why Scoob is saying, yeah, no, he loves Jesus, but his Bible is the Constitution, because guess what? That's about individual freedom. And if you have a God that doesn't want you to be individually free and also give you the tools you need to do right by your fellow man, then your God is a fucking asshole. Right? Like, and I don't know why people don't see that, but yeah, you know, it's when you're ruled by that kind of authoritarian government that uses their holy books to justify abuses against people. Yeah, no, I can see how you would cower in a corner or just get in line. It's easier. It's so much easier, man.
Well, if you look at the most recent history, what I think a lot of it is Islam is right now experiencing a dark age. They've entered their dark ages.
Yep.
That's what this
Yep.
is.
Yep.
And I pray that a lot more of them start to share the point of view of someone like Australia's Imam Tawhidi, which if you guys are not familiar with Imam Tawhidi, I suggest you definitely look into his interpretations, because he's the one that's calling for them to remove the Bukhara from the Quran. So that's something he's very big about. He wants them to remove all of the passages that call for violence, death to Jews. He really wants them to edit the hell out of that Quran. So,
yep.
You know, this is a good man. And there's actually, if I could recommend, there is a talk between him and Gad Saad. I definitely recommend you guys watch it. It's
Canada,
really
baby.
well done.
All right, that man's a Montreal. That man's a Montrealer. He came from Libya, but yeah, he's a Canadian now. Gad Saad.
Yep.
And in my opinion, is a gift to Western civilization. I thank God that we have him. At this point in time, we're very lucky to have him.
He'll retweet that. Tweet that to him. He'll retweet that. He'll love that shit. He eats that shit up, man. Yeah, Imam Tawhidi, Gad Saad, and another Canadian. He's not like an imam, but he's Muslim. Tarek Fatah. He's a Toronto-based journalist, and he's one of the guys that he's gone to like speaking engagements and basically said to other Muslims, because he came from Pakistan to Canada, Islam is what made Pakistan a shithole. It's what makes all those places in the Middle East shitholes. You came to this country, Canada in particular, but also like America, to other countries, because you didn't want to live in that shithole anymore. Don't bring that garbage with you, right? There are Muslims that are vocally against the political ideology of Islam, and I'm not about to turn my back on them. And yeah.
No, I don't have a problem with those that are opposed to it. There's several Muslim personalities that do, YouTube stuff that I actually rebroadcast and retweet, just like there's Canadians I retweet.
Yeah.
Because they make sense, they make valid arguments, they're very intelligent individuals. What they're saying is important. And so I spread the word.
And yeah, that's what I mean. Is one of the things that upsets me is Imam Tawhidi likes to tweet this one dude. He lives in England now, I think, and he's like a young imam. He's in his 20s, and he basically goes like most of his tweets are basically women shouldn't be free. If you follow Tawhidi, you've seen this guy, and it's like a joke. It's like, how do you live in a free country and then think like this? Unless you're incel.
Yep, and he's
just throwing that out there.
Well, guys, it's almost 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Running for Pinellas County Circuit Court judgeship, said he can be impartial on the bench to Muslims and LGBTQ people, despite the derogatory social media posts he's written about both groups. Logged into his Twitter account on February 26, 2017 and wrote, "Never trust a Muslim." Then, March 25th, 2017, he tweeted, "Muslims are deranged." Facebook, February 25th, and wrote that Jesus condemned gay people. If the homosexual continues committing that sin and sodomy, his soul faces eternal damnation. If you really have that mental illness, it's not love. McBath acknowledged to the Tampa Bay Times that he wrote those posts and said his personal beliefs should not be considered separately from his judicial campaign.
He's going for that Christian right vote now, isn't he?
When asked if he could treat Muslim and LGBTQ citizens fairly were they to appear in his courtroom, he said he could. "I absolutely can be fair, no matter what kind of beliefs I may have. Beliefs based on what's happened in our lives, and as long as it doesn't interfere with how we treat a person, that's the goal." The college law professor Louis Varelli said McBath's social media history raises issues that voters should consider when they go to the polls in August. Formed to elect a judge who has committed to strong negative feelings about an entire segment of the population that he or she is going to be responsible to administer justice for. Studies rest schools. Judge abstains from a case because of conflict of interest. He said Muslim and LGBTQ litigants could request that McBath recuse himself from their cases that show that he cannot be fair or impartial. "It is going to put a strain on the system," said Varelli about the U.S. Supreme Court rest schools. "I can't imagine a Muslim litigant or lawyer, obviously the prospect of recusal, if these statements are true and they reflect the judge's thinking. And there's no reason to believe they don't. The judges are bound by the equal protection clauses in the U.S. Constitution, which bans discrimination based on religion, ethnicity, and gender. It does not, however, protect the LGBT community, although they're working on that. If McBath is elected, lawyers who find themselves in his courtroom will undoubtedly raise those issues.
Yeah.
Arguments and presenting evidence that his prior statements indicate he to believe them based on who they are. Advocates for Muslim and LGBT communities said they also don't believe that McBath could treat them fairly. Revealed himself to be incapable of treating the LGBT community with dignity and respect. Equality Florida executive director said after reading the February 25th Facebook post. He lacks the temperament required of a judge to deal impartially with facts. Thania Diaz-Clevenger, Civil Rights Director for the Council on American Islamic Relations, are jarring and revealed a very clear bias and certainly a lack of judgment on his part. It is certainly going to raise a lot of red flags for those who appear before him. He believes Muslims can't be trusted or are deranged. He declined to elaborate. Go into detail in regarding those comments that were made from a personal standpoint. Nellis Pasco prosecutor to replace retiring circuit judge Frank Casita. Salary is $160,688. Raised August 28th. Beliefs. McBath said voters should consider his more than 25 years of legal experience.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and wrap. We're over the 11 o'clock mark. But maybe we can table this and continue with it tomorrow. Because a couple of people telling me they have to go and stuff, and Uzi Q's like giving me the love eye.
Yeah.
You ever give her that kiss?
Oh no, not yet. I gotta be free from this computer thing before I can do that properly. And I mean properly.
Well, make sure you tell her it's from me.
All right, I will. Well, what we'll do is we'll wrap, and then y'all can keep talking. How about that? So this is IRATE Prostate.
Can I quickly chill though? Shit! Oh my
Shit,
god! Because
chill
I
your ass.
chill at the beginning. Irving Twin, Angry Drunk Canadian, yada yada yada. But I will be doing after hours to carry this on if anyone wants to jump in.
All right, killer. All right. So everybody, take care, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Peace.